Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Now, we have a story here about Nicola Sturgeon and her opinion on gay marriage. Seems quite apposite when one thinks about her marriage. However, really there's a story behind the story on this one, I think, and it's worth looking at simply because of what she's saying may well be true, but maybe not for the reasons she's thinking. And it's all to do with her view, like I say, on gay marriage. And she reckons that it wouldn't wash today. She says if it went up to the vote today, it may not have passed in today's Scotland. And I think she may well be right, but not, I think, for the reasons she's going to put forward in this argument. I haven't read the full piece. I've read sort of the headline and that. But I just know the way her mind thinks. And I know already who she's going to blame. And it won't be Nicola Sturgeon. Oh no. It'll be us, normies, the proletariat, you know, the plebs. Us lads on the street, us lasses out there. It isn't our fault. Not at all, and we'll see why. Let's have a look, see why Nicola Sturgeon may well be right that it wouldn't pass today. Which does actually go to show that maybe Kate Forbes has a point. Let's have a look. So, Nicola Sturgeon is not convinced that equal marriage would pass in Scotland today. And I, like I say, think she's probably right. But not necessarily for her argument that I think she's going to come up with. Nicola Sturgeon said she's not convinced that same-sex marriage would be legalised in Scotland today. The former First Minister said politics is now more toxic and polarised than in the past. Well, of course it is, Nicola. You've made it toxic. You have polarised it. Where previously there were just differences of opinion, you've convinced everyone that that is not enough. You've made them hate. You've distilled that into pure hate for the opposition. That's why it's toxic. That's why it's divisional. She said the culture at times in politics is downright unpleasant. It's downright toxic. Of course, exactly how you wanted it to be. Miss Sturgeon made the comments when she appeared alongside Lord Wallace, the former Deputy First Minister, at an event in Edinburgh University to mark 25 years of devolution. She said, I was the minister that took through the minimum unit price and put thousands of children into poverty and, increased at the cost of increasing the supermarket's profits. And it hasn't worked, and it's led to more deaths and driven more people away from alcohol and into harder substances. So yeah, that's a fail, Nicola. She said, I don't think that would get through onto the statute book today. No, because people would look at the problems and say, oh yeah, we'll actually talk about this and say it's a really shit idea, as opposed to when you were in charge when nobody dared say that's a really shit idea. She goes here, I'm not even convinced equal marriage would, certainly not without much more toxic debate, get there today. She says a lot of it comes back to how we do fix that underlying problem of we've just lost our way and how to debate things rationally and properly. You would not brook any debate. It was your way or the highway. There was no debate in the SNP when you were in charge. So cut that bullshit. Now, same-sex marriage was legalised in Scotland in 2014. Now, that, of course, was before all this wokery and all this woke bollocks has come out. And the reason I think it wouldn't get there today is not that people are intolerant of gay and lesbian people. Far from it. I don't think there's any basic intolerance that's different today than there was then. What there is an intolerance now for the constant harping, endless push of wokery. And I think this constant, particularly the transgenderism, has alienated people from orthodoxy. If you are outside the norm now, you are classed as part of that woke trans argument, even if you're not involved in it. If you're just a gay couple, men, women, doesn't matter. If you're just a gay couple. Now, previously you would have just been, just a pair of gay guys, pair of lesbian women, they got married, oh well, nobody cares. Now, because of the woke transgenderism fight and that push, that transgenderism argument has inculcated all the others. It's absorbed all the other non-orthodox relationships. And they've all been grouped together because they insist on not calling it LGB, but LGBT. So the trans are the same as the LGBs. No, LGBs are just attractions. If you're a man who's attracted to a man, you're L. You're not L at all, are you, idiot? You're G. Woman to woman, L, and so on. By they're just attractions. Everything after the B is a mental condition, and you cannot lump together trans with LGB. They are completely different things. It's like having, how do we put this? Imagine a bowl of fruit. You walk into somebody's front room, there's a bowl of fruit on there, and you see banana, apple, orange, lasagna. One of those things is not the same as the other things, and it's the same with LGBT. But because of the push for T, and with that the sexualization, particularly of children, and the threat to the safety and security of women and children arising from the argument, these have all clumped together. And in most people's minds now, LGBT has been completely overridden by the T part of it, and so they're all lumped together. And so people see it and go, no, reject, reject, reject. What the lesbian, gay and bi community need to do, the LGB, need to remove LGB and say, no. We're LGB, we want nothing to do with all the rest of you alphabet people. We are over here, we are separate. Remove the T from LGBT, basically. Do that, they can come back that way and be reabsorbed into normality, because it's only an attraction, whereas all the mentally ill can all sod off over there and seek psychiatric help. And that's what's caused the problem. Anyway, Lord Wallace, who's Deputy Minister, blah, 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 we don't care. She's going on here now. Politics is more toxic, hostile environment. You made it that way. You. Nicola Sturgeon made it that way. And that's why you will never escape the legacy of what you've done. You're saying, oh, these things wouldn't get through. There was no debate in you'd give that little fiery basilisk eye if anyone dared raise a word against you. It was your way, was the only way. It was the cult of leadership. There is you would brook no opposition. And that was the problem. And that's why so much went wrong under your watch, because you refused to listen. You arrogant little shard of a woman. So I don't care what she says. The only thing I want to say, the next thing out of that woman's mouth I want to hear is guilty. How do you plead? Guilty. And that's it. Or actually, no, not guilty. Let's have a trial. Let's find the truth come out and then put her in prison. Anyway, I'm coming up. I also think that what's happened of late is that more people are prepared to stand up and say, no, we've crossed a line, we've gone too far. Why is it push for transgenderism when we know for a fact how dangerous it is? Dangerous for those children pushed down this line where so many of them aren't trans, but their parents would say rather trans than gay, or that you get the stonewalling, pushing them through, bullying, shouting, harassing, things like that. And if anyone ever dares question this, they're seen as a phobe. Well, I'm a phobe and an don't care. It's wrong. I'll stand up for the protection of children. You want to do all that stuff when you're 18? Absolutely fine. Don't care. Yours. Don't you dare go into a woman's only space, though. And that's alienated people. But now we've got the strength. We can stand up now. We can say enough's enough and say no. That wouldn't have happened before. People were weak. Well, they've kept branding us. Oh, we're racist, we're phobic, we're this, we're that, we're the other. So it's about time we started becoming the things they're branding us and stand up for what's right and what's decent and say enough is enough. You've crossed the line, you get back the other side of the line and you dare not cross that line again. Push back. Don't allow them to keep what they've got. Push them back to the line of decency and keep them out of sport and keep them out of changing rooms. It's my view. I don't care. That's how it is. I don't want anyone going into a changing room and exposing themselves in front of children or women, especially not my wife. Anyway, I'll stop. Thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring that bell, leave a like, leave a comment. Please share the video, and I'll speak to you later. Bye.